Hello to my friends on YouTube. Hello to my friends on YouTube. As you know, it takes a couple seconds for the people inside of TikTok to be notified that I'm doing this, and then it takes actually a couple more seconds on top of that for more than one or two people to get here. But that's just the way it goes, and that's the way that we're going to operate this for today. Hello, call me, sir. Hello, loading. Hello, Nolan. Hello, blazing. Hello, Smiley. Good to see you, Nolan. Glad you're here. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And I hope you have a good week ahead. My name is Josh. I was a pornography addict for 24 years. I was also an alcoholic for 22 years. I am now a full-time pornography addiction coach, a full-time betrayal trauma coach, and a full-time disclosure specialist. If I can answer any of your questions about pornography addiction, about betrayal trauma, about communication between relationships, that's what I'm here for today. You're probably going to hear me introduce myself again if you hang out 10-15 minutes, because I got to keep doing that as more people end up in the room and wonder who the hell I am. What I would ask you to do right now is if you could tap up the likes, I would very much appreciate that. That lets other people know that they want to hear what's going on in here, that what's going on in here is important. So if you wouldn't mind tapping up some likes, if you wouldn't mind sharing this, if you're not following me, please do. And of course, if you have any questions about pornography addiction, if you have any questions about betrayal trauma, I am completely here to answer your questions at least for an hour. So go ahead and put them right into the comments. I'm going to start by answering the question that is going to be asked the most today. And I know it'll be asked the most today because it's the asked the most every day. And that's, how do I begin quitting? How do I begin the process of quitting pornography? And really, that's the process of quitting anything, dealing with any addiction, making any change in life. So even if you're not a porn addict, this could be useful in other parts of your life. And the way that you make a major life change, like getting away from pornography addiction, is that you figure out what your motivation is before you even start. You know, a good question is, do you want to quit pornography? Because if the answer is no, you're probably not going to be successful at that point, unfortunately. So if you're going to quit pornography, you have to start from the point of view of, why must I quit pornography? Underline the word must. We all know you should quit pornography. We all know it's a good idea if you quit pornography. But why must you quit pornography? What is your story? Because your story may be different than mine was. Your story may be different than the guy next to you. Your story may be different than the girl next to you. Why you feel like you must quit. Maybe you're afraid of losing a partner that you have that you've lied to about this. Maybe you're afraid of not ever having a partner if you continue on as an addict. Maybe you're afraid of your mental and physical health and you've seen it deteriorating. Maybe you're afraid of your moral compass and you've seen it deteriorating. You know, maybe you've started using in places you don't want to, like work or school. You have to determine your must. You have to determine your must 100%. And once you do, there's your motivation. That's what's going to help you get through the tough days. Will says, this is so real, 4 minutes sober. Well, I just wish I would have been here a few days ago. And Osama says, I relapsed after 2 weeks. My blood started running really fast. I'm sorry to hear about that. Sir Spingus says, dog, come on. Don't know what you mean by that, sir, but that's fine. Want to let all of you here know my name is Josh. I am a licensed pornography and addiction and betrayal trauma coach. I was myself a porn addict for 24 years, and I was an alcoholic for 22 years. So I can talk about this from my point of view of my experience. I can talk about this from the point of view of having coached people for the last 5 years, both men and women. Happy to explain it to you. Anything you need. Christian, how are you doing today? I'm doing okay. I'm in a weird location. I'm actually in my son's bedroom because I am fostering a couple of new puppies. We sent back the kittens, and I'm fostering some new puppies today, and we're keeping them in here for right now because my office still has all the cat stuff. So it's a little bit interesting being in here. Hey, Altman, what's considered a porn addiction? Great question, and that's individualized. I can't decide if porn is ruining your life. You have to. I can't decide how you're addicted. You have to. So what I would urge you to do, if you're wondering if you're a porn addict, go visit the front page of my profile. Up where there are those 3 pinned videos, one of them is called The 11 Symptoms of Porn Addiction. And you can click right on it, listen to the video. It's about 2-3 minutes. Score along with yourself, and then you can determine if you're an addict. But more importantly is determining if you want to do anything about being an addict, if you find out you are. That's a more important question than am I an addict, is if I find out I'm an addict, will I do anything about it? And if you want to do something about it, if you want some one-on-one help, but don't want to go to a therapist, don't want to go talk to your doctor, or sit in a 12-step group, while you're on my front page, click on my links and you will see a link that says schedule here. There's a link tree and the top link is schedule here, and you can learn about how to do a one-on-one session with me. All right, let's keep going. French Press 3 says, my girlfriend and I love it. We watch it together. That's fine. If that's within the rules of your relationship, if that's within the boundaries of your relationship, that's okay. I would urge you to be careful because statistically, people who watch porn together have higher rates of breaking up, have higher rates of divorce. I don't think that's specifically because of the porn, but I think watching porn may sometimes be a mask for other problems. And I will get to everybody's questions. I promise. I will get to everybody's comments. I promise. Just takes a while. How did you quit, Josh? Well, first, I had real life slap me in the face. After 24 years of being a porn addict, after 22 years of being an alcoholic, I ended up getting fired from my job. Ironically, a job that I owned 1/3 of the company. But the other owners decided to fire me because I wasn't getting the job done on a day-to-day level. I kind of checked out 6 months earlier because of all the drinking, because of all the porn. And they fired me, and the next day there was a makeshift intervention in my life. My parents, my wife, some other friends, some other family were there, and I don't remember a lot about that intervention, but I do remember by the end of it saying, if I want to keep my family and friends, I have to get help. And now is the time that everybody now knows my secrets. Might as well go get help. I got nothing to hide anymore. And I did that for both alcohol and pornography. And as I continued to quit, life got better and life got better and life got better. And year 1 of recovery wasn't as good as year 2. And year 3 was better. Year 4 was better. Life just gets better and better in recovery. And I wish I knew that before I waited so long to quit. So it was a combination. You know, how did I quit? It was finally deciding I wanted to, finally deciding I would listen to other people, finally deciding I didn't have the answers, and finally deciding I was going to do it once and for all. When people say, have you not relapsed in 11 years? It's because I don't want to. Relapse is a choice. It's because I don't want to. Please go tap up the likes. Please go tap up the likes. Please share this if you think it's worthwhile. follow me if you're not. I about to go grab a beer. Okay, Osama. Doing okay, Christian. Glad to hear that. Hope you had a good weekend. Corn can make you have low confidence and be terrible with women. It's not that's what makes you do it. It's that you don't have confidence. It's that you don't have the skills to deal with women because you haven't developed them. Don't blame the porn. The porn is just a series of pixels delivered to your phone. The porn is of naked people. It's pictures. It's videos. You can't claim that pictures and videos of kittens or pictures and videos of police chases are going to make you do anything. So no, you do not, the pornography does not make you do anything. It will, as an addict, change your brain chemistry, of course, but how you are with women is more because you don't have the skills to deal with women and you need to develop them. Dennis P, 59, thank you for following me. What if we are a Ligma addict? Ultimately, addiction is addiction is addiction is addiction. That's what I believe, because the same stuff goes on in your head. I don't care if you're addicted to cigarettes or video games or gambling or porn or alcohol. It's kind of all the same thing. Yuri, thank you for following me. Altman says, will do. Thank you. You're welcome. Where did you get help? Where didn't I get help? I got help for my alcoholism in Palm Springs, California, but that's where I actually started doing the deep work on my pornography addiction as well. Shortly thereafter, I went to rehab for porn addiction just outside Dallas, Texas. And then I came back home to Maine, and in Maine, I got myself a therapist, and I got myself 2 coaches. My therapist is in Maine. My 2 coaches are in different places in the country because I talk to them via Zoom, which I've still do. You know, I still check in. Check-ins are a huge part to keeping you on the straight and narrow. Great answer, Josh. Thank you. You're welcome, Nolan. Hey, Hunter Kite 9. Thank you for following me. Gooner Final Boss. You know what's funny is when I started doing these lives 4 years ago, Gooner wasn't even a term yet. It's kind of quaint in a way. Altman, thank you for following me. Joshua Storm, good name. Thank you for following me. Why can't we blame corn for low confidence and terrible with women? But you might have a point. Because the corn did nothing to you. Every time, every last damn time you sit down with porn, even if you're an addict, you're making that decision. Pornography does not jump up in the air. How did you get to that porn site? How did you get to the point that you're masturbating? Clearly, you had to take off your clothes or take down your pants. How did your little friend down there get in your hand? Well, you decided to put it there. How did your phone or your computer get onto that adult site? You had to decide to do that. You had to decide to do all of that. So I hope you can recognize that. And if you weren't using porn, but you'd have, why do you think the porn has taken away your confidence? Because you're not a 6'3" guy with ripped abs and a tan who screws professionally on film? Don't blame things that are other things in this world you can't control for the reality of things you can control. If anyone is struggling, Josh is the man to call. He has helped me tremendously in just one session. Well, thank you for saying that, Robert. I appreciate that. Take it from Robert. I can help people. And a lot of guys are like Robert. They only come see me one time. A lot of guys see me one time, maybe 2, and then they've got some tools to see if they can do it on their own. Some people prefer to stay with me for 6-10 sessions. Some people I've been seeing for 3-4 years, and it's not because we talk about porn. We just deal with life. You know, you're a porn coach? You're a betrayal coach? I hate the term, but I'm really just your life coach. I help you with life. That's all. So thank you for saying that, Robert. I appreciate that. What would you do when you had the temptation to relapse? I would go back to my must. I would think, why do I want to relapse? Because looking at naked people is fun. Because looking at naked people makes me feel good. Because masturbating to looking at naked people makes me feel good. Okay, I know all those things as basically facts. But I also know this is causing a brain disease that is going to shorten my life, and it's going to shorten the quality of my life if I continue on with it. So I don't want to relapse. I know that if I relapse, it's going to be difficult to get back on the wagon. So I don't want to relapse. And I would also, I would also say that I thought about the reasons I didn't want to relapse. I quit porn. My must was my relationship with my wife. We were going to get divorced if she didn't see me make some real changes. If we got divorced, she would end up taking the kids with her. I didn't want to be the dad that was only with his kids every other weekend for something like that. Now, if my wife had I had other issues, that's one thing. But I don't want to cause divorce because of my own dumb mistakes. So I thought of all those things. And as you get further, I also had other things to do. You know you're going to feel temptation. So be prepared. You know, anybody, even if you haven't quit porn right now, if you're still looking at porn, if you want to stop, if you're an addict, you want to stop, if you're a recreational user and you want to stop, be prepared for when you get those feelings. You must be prepared for when you get those feelings. Okay, urge is coming. What am I going to do now? There you go. But what would you say is an addiction? How many times a day? Great question. Go visit the front page of my profile. Up at the top where there are the pinned videos, click on the one that says the 11 symptoms of porn addiction. I repeat them, and then you can keep track for yourself. You can keep track for yourself. Because some people, how many times a day? Well, if you're doing it twice a day, 7 days a week, I would say it's an addiction. If you're doing it once a day, 7 days a week, I would say it's an addiction. But you have to decide for yourself. I can't goon, says Twitch Oppo. Well, that's a shame. Melissa Watson says, I love watching porn. Okay. As long as you know what the potential negatives are with your behavior, which is really why I'm here to educate. If I get a few clients along the way, that's great. But I'm here to educate. And as long as you know where the potential problems are, Melissa, I'm not going to stop you. But you say you love watching porn. Isn't that a little bit enthusiastic? Have you asked yourself why you watch porn? Have you ever given yourself, try to take the next week off. Find out if you love watching porn. Hold on, let me shut that door. Find out if you love watching porn or if you must watch porn. Try to not watch for a few days, Melissa, and tell me what happens. What do I do when I just want to crank it? Well, you do something else. Because that's not good for you. What do you want me to give you another bad behavior? Do you want me to tell you how you can, engage in sexual activity or masturbation? Because you can't. It's like the difference between, snorting a drug and smoking it. You can't do it either way. Find something else to do. Go for a walk. Watch a movie. Call your grandma. Learn to play the piano. Draw a picture. Go see a movie. Go see a play. Take a nap. Read The Grapes of Wrath. There's 1,000 things you can do. Okay, but why is it bad? Well, ultimately, it is, number one, can cause erectile dysfunction in men. Number two, among the youngest among us, it creates ideas about sexuality that are incorrect. It creates objectification that is not good. It is sex ed for the youngest among us. Also, it does hurt relationships because so many people lie about it. It is causing a very unhealthy sexual society. And inside yourself, it can cause brain damage if you rise to the level of addict. And you don't want to be an addict. There's nothing positive about it. Goon passion. Okay. Twitch, you're going to be banned the next time you say goon. Just throwing that out there. So if you ever want to be in this room again, don't say goon again. Okay? Good. We're there. I'm 1 day clean. What's the best way to recover? I got a problem. Okay, well, what I want you to do over the next few days is every time you get an urge, write it down. Go find my video, probably 2 weeks old. It says the Urge Journal up high. Watch that. That's your first thing to do. Figure out when you get your urges, where you get your urges, and what has just happened when you get your urges, whether you use or not. You know, if you're sitting in a room of people and you get an urge, you're probably not going to use, but it's important to know why that urge hit. I'll be booking again soon, just have been very busy recently. Well, I look forward to seeing you again, Robert. I look forward to seeing you again. Wingstop Ranch, you're doing amazing work. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. What would you do if you know that a friend watches Corn of Little? Okay, so you know you have a friend who is engaging in illegal viewing. What I would do is tell them that what they are looking at is illegal, and that they need to find other pornography to use if they're just a pornography addict. If they, however, actually have issues with the or attraction to that kind of content, that kind of content in real life, you tell them that, that's an illness and they need help before they go even further down a criminal road. Remind them that viewing certain kinds of pornography, including the kind that they're watching, is illegal. So I think that you need to let them know that you're aware, and you need to let them know that they should take some steps to take care of it, even if it's just going to talk to a therapist. And if they don't take any steps, that in order for you to live with yourself, you're going to have to tell law enforcement. Because if you know and don't tell law enforcement or don't help them, I don't know if you're an accessory or not. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest with you. So yeah, Jen, I would flat out say, I know you do this. You need to get help now. I need to see you get help now, or I'm going to have to make a phone call that I don't want to make, and our friendship will probably be over. Wingstop says, so wait, the only way you release is with your significant other only? How do you deal with them? Tips, please. How do you deal with your significant other? You should be able to know how to do that. Why are they your significant other if you don't know how to deal? Sorry, just checking on my dogs. I don't understand really what the problem is, Wingstop. So if you can explain, I'd appreciate it. Please keep tapping up the likes. Please keep sharing. If you're not following me, please do. That'll let you know when I go live. If you're looking for any help, front page of the profile, in my links, there is a link for meeting me. Sticks, and I just lost your space here. Sticks and Friends, what should I do at night to stop? Well, what are you doing at night to do it? Maybe you don't have your device with you in bed if that's where you do it. Maybe if you go to bed an hour early so you can do it, give yourself the time, you stay up until your head is about to hit the pillow. Hey, get out of there. You stay up until you're going to collapse. Fall asleep on the couch a couple nights just to not be in your room. Read. Nobody is controlling you like a robot. Nobody is controlling you like a puppet at night. I don't know what your nightly routine is, but you've got to change it. You've got to change that nightly routine. Why are you using at night? When are you using at night? Where are you using at night? See what these patterns are. Well, it's always between 11 and 12 after I close my door behind me for the first time. Or for the last time of the night. And then it happens sometime in the next hour. Okay, why don't you leave your door open? There are plenty of things you can do. You just have to be willing to do them. Rama Larva, and I will get to everybody's questions. I know I'm falling behind. Are there any health benefits to quitting? Yes, it's all health benefits to quitting. It's a disease, Rama. Pornography addiction is a disease of the mind. It's a disease because it causes the chemistry of your brain to change. Your brain absolutely changes when you become an addict. Your neural pathways change. Your brain basically becomes set up to crave those chemicals at all times. The dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. These are all pleasure chemicals, and your brain is set up to want that pleasure. So your brain basically alters so it can constantly tell you it wants that stuff. Let me just block this dude's account because that was pretty gross. Some people I don't even give us a chance to hear me again because they just say too many stupid things. So yeah, ultimately, Rama, it's a brain disease. That's the biggest one. Other health benefits for people who even just use regularly report higher levels of anxiety, higher levels of stress. There's also with men all of the erectile dysfunction issues that can come with it. And, you know, it's objectifying. You know, it objectifies other human beings in a way that you wouldn't want your sister or your mom or your brother or, you know, your little son or your little daughter to ever be looked at any time in their life by somebody. Thank you for following me, user 500. Thank you for following me, Polo G. Should you call the police? That's a great question. I would give your friend, the person you know, a chance to turn this around. You know, it's one thing if they are pathologically into that stuff. It's another thing if they stumbled upon it one day for a couple minutes and didn't mean to be there and have never looked at it since. You know, is he seeking it out? If he's seeking it out, make sure you tell him that he has about 24 hours to get some help and to prove to you he got some help. And if, you know, whether it's just a therapist appointment or going to a 12-step group or whatever it is. And, hey, kitty, if he's not willing to do that, then you have to say, I cannot stand by while this happens. I will need to call the police. And then when you actually do that, what I would urge you to do is, if you're in the U.S., call your state police, because they're usually the ones that handle that stuff, not your local cops, unless you live in a giant city. But most regular police departments don't have the personnel and the kind of technology needed. Hello, Amin. Good to see you. What up, Coach? Love tuning into your lives. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for asking me. I'm doing quite well. I got a kitty here. We got this one for about 6 more days. I thought I was going to lose all of them last week, but they asked us to hold 3 of them for another week. Talk to a therapist. Yeah, it would be a lot easier to take you seriously if you spelled Tua the correct way. Tyler, medical professionals don't find corn to be harmful. Well, I think you are picking and choosing what you want to hear from medical professionals and who you're trusting as medical professionals, Tyler. You know, that's what I would say. You can pick and choose whatever you want to hear in this world. If you want to believe that corn addiction, if you want to believe that using corn is completely okay, great. Great. Sit back and take a look at your life with the pornography and tell me if it's been harming or causing a lower quality level of living than you deserve. The line that I give everybody when they throw at me, porn addiction isn't real, porn addiction isn't considered a disease, porn addiction isn't, I sincerely hope that you never find out the truth. I sincerely hope that you're able to live with that ignorance forever, because it means you will not have found out the truth the hard way. People say to me, porn addiction isn't real? Porn addiction isn't a recognized thing? Well, okay. Whatever you have to say, I've lived it. I've worked with people the last 5-6 years who have lived it. I went through recovery for quite a while with others who were living it. If you don't know that it's real, consider yourself lucky. Consider yourself lucky. Jesse, thank you for following me. Thank you very much. How old were you when you stopped PMO? Well, I have not stopped because I'm married and I still have sex with my wife. So, yeah, still orgasm. It's kind of nice. How old when I was stopped PMO? P&M? I think I had just turned 37 when I went to rehab. So it's been 11 years. Sorry I didn't elaborate enough. No problem, Wingstop. When you have those feelings, do you just engage with your significant other or? Usually, yes. And I think that we engage enough so that it is not, something that, like a camel, I'm going through the desert without. I'll also tell you that, hey, Harold, don't do that. Behave yourself. Sorry, one of my youngest puppies was carrying around one of the kittens in its mouth because it thinks it's its mom. Wasn't mean, wasn't rough. It just thinks it's its mother. So yes, I do engage with my significant other, and also as you get older, your libido drops a bit. And keep in mind, I engaged with pornography because I was an addict. I didn't engage with pornography because I wanted to get off. I engaged with pornography because I needed those chemicals in my head. I needed the dopamine and the oxytocin and the serotonin just to function. I didn't care what I saw on a screen. Big boobs, little boobs, lots of penises, no penises, white, black, Latin, Asian. Doesn't matter. They're doing it in a group, in 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. It didn't matter as long as it got the job done. When you're a porn addict, you get to the point fairly fast where you don't really care what it's of. So it's not that I get urges all the time to have sex, because that was never the urge I had when I was an addict. I had the urge to make myself feel better. Now, if you have no idea you're an addict and you just think I like porn because it's sexy people doing sexy things, that may be incorrect if you're doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week or daily or multiple times daily. But I gotta tell you, I don't feel like I stress because I don't get enough ejaculation, or I stress because I don't see enough naked women. because that wasn't what the addiction was actually about. That was never what the addiction was actually about. I see women on TikTok and I be watching at night and I know it's wrong. Then go to a different app. Go play a slot machine game. Go play a card game. Go read today's news. You are choosing to be on TikTok, and if what you're seeing on TikTok is triggering you, make sure you're not following it. Make sure you don't like it. When you see it on the screen, push on the screen, click not interested, and keep going. If you don't want it in your feed, you can get it out of your feed. Social media pushes lewd content, especially at night. Of course, they want to make money. Why do you think the adult channels push this stuff at night? Why do you think Pornhub's numbers pop up at night? It's the time that most people have to spend time doing it privately. But I got hooked way before social media existed. I actually got clean before TikTok started. You cannot blame the means of transport. Yes, it's a different world today. The biggest change that came to pornography consumption, I believe, in the history of the world was high-speed internet. Or I should even say unregulated high-speed internet. Hi. Hi there. That's the biggest part. But you are in control, Rama. You are in control. I know I'm falling behind. I apologize. I've been off for about a month and I have no libido. Is that normal? It absolutely can be, Andy. Absolutely. Your body's changing. Your body is changing away from wanting that. And here's the thing. It might not have been about libido anyway. Your body is changing chemically right now. That's going to do a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Killing your libido can be one of those things. But was it really about libido anyway? Or was it just about easing stress, easing anxiety, getting those pleasure chemicals, giving yourself some attention and self-love with the masturbation part of it? Did you really have a giant libido every time you used? Because I'll tell you, as an addict, talking to plenty of addicts, libido is not one of the big things any of us have. In fact, the libido of an addict is lower than the libido of an average person. And that includes people who are porn addicts and sex addicts. You literally, and it blows people's minds when I say this, but it's true. You literally could have the hottest guy or the hottest girl living or sleeping in bed next to you as your husband or wife. They could be genius IQ. They could be crazy creative, super funny, very successful with making money, treats you like a king or a queen. But at night, you still get up and you go find risky sex with risky partners in risky places. That's not because your partner isn't doing it for you. That's because you have an intercourse addiction. So you go out and you satiate it, because intercourse addiction, like porn addiction, isn't about naked people. It's about getting those chemicals. It's just that's how we know how to do it. There are many people out there who get those chemicals through gambling or through video games or through food or a million other ways out there. Sage, how has your life changed for the positive after quitting? Every single piece of my life is better. My relationships with people, my professional, personal life balance. I'm just an overall happier person. I don't feel like something is controlling me. I have better relationships with my kids. I weigh 50 pounds less than I did at that time. I have a clean mindset. It's been nothing but positive, Sage. It has been nothing but positives. I watch it 0%. Well, Sarah, I think we need to get that down to -2%. I'm glad that's the case, Sarah. I'm glad that's the case. Buenos noches, buenos dias, buenos suerte, wherever you happen to be in the world, good morning, good evening, good night. My name is Josh. I was a porn addict for 24 years. I was also an alcoholic for 22 years, and I currently have been clean and sober for almost 11 years and relapse-free the entire time. I also have been making my living in this area for about 8 years now. For the first 3 years, I wrote books. I wrote 4 books about porn addiction and betrayal trauma. You can get those through my Linktree. I also was a sought-after speaker and presenter, talked to colleges, churches, libraries, those kinds of places. Once the pandemic hit, I got my certification as a pornography addiction coach. I got my certification as a betrayal trauma coach, and shortly thereafter, I got my certification as a disclosure specialist. So if I can help you in any of these areas, please don't hesitate to put a comment down here. I will get to it. Takes a little bit of time. And if you feel like you need one-on-one help from me, click on the Linktree and you will see a link that tells you how to go and schedule an appointment with me. I'm back. My phone died. Glad you're here, Nolan. Glad you're back. I'm addicted and I can't stop, sir. I really enjoy it. Okay, so you don't want to quit then. So it's really pointless for me to run down all the different things you can do. If you've decided you really enjoy it and you want to keep doing it, not much I can say or do. There's just not much I can say or do. Should you stop 3 times a day? Yeah. Why don't you try for the next week once a day? Try for the next week once a day. Can somebody tell me what time it is on the East Coast of the U.S.? I have to do a podcast appearance soon. I'm proud to say 14 days clean. Holy crap, Smoothie Bun. Congratulations. No touching, no watching. I feel good. That's amazing, and you've shown yourself you can do this. You've shown yourself now for 2 weeks you can do this. Stay busy on those times where things are down. And healthier attitude. I'm really proud of you, Smoothie Buns. That's awesome. I'm really proud of you. You're a warrior, dude. You wanted this. You sought help. And now you're instituting some of those ideas while also now understanding that you can have some ideas of your own. That's great. That is great, man. Chad Farquad, thank you for following me. Lena says, kitty. Yes, this is kitty. You know what? This is a foster kitty, and I don't name my foster kitties because it's easier to give him back if I don't. So I just call him Gray right now because we have gray, we have beige, and we have orange and white. And they're only, I actually thought I was giving them back on Friday, but I found out that we actually are having them till this coming Friday. Hey. Get out of there. Sorry, one of my regular puppies is here, and I think he's so shocked by all these extra animals that are just hanging out here now. And the libido return. Will this fix PIED over time? Yes. But you have to make sure you don't look. You have to make sure you don't touch. And, I can't tell how old you are there in your picture, Andy. I don't even know for sure it's you, of course. But over time, this will be fixed. But if you're not a, 19-year-old guy who's only been using 4 or 5 years, it's going to take longer. It takes longer for older people. It takes longer for people who've spent more time doing it. And of course, you have to follow the basic recipe of don't look and don't touch. But this will fix things over time. How did I quit? I finally decided I wanted to, and I decided to seek the help from others that I was too proud to get, that I was too ashamed to get, that I had too big of an ego to get for too many years. Hey, John, good to see you. 218, thank you, Nolan. Congrats on being sober. Thank you very much, Sarah. Kyle asks, how long were you trying to quit before you finally stopped? Honestly, I slowed down my drinking here and there through the years, but I never really tried to flat out stop. And as far as the porn goes, I never tried to stop. So, honest, I never really gave quitting a chance. A little bit of alcohol, but not with porn. I just got to a point where I don't care if I tried 50 times. I don't care if I tried 0 times. It was time to remove this thing from my life, or these things, because it was 2 addictions at the same time. So, I guess a few minutes, I guess a few minutes technically. But it doesn't matter how long you try. I was an addict for 24 years. Who cares if I tried every year 3 times? That's not going to be your story. Hopefully your story will be like mine, where you quit successfully the first time. But if you don't, you learn how to deal with relapses. That's all. That's all. Oh, I love him. Yes. He's so cute. He's the shy one of the 3. I'm sure the other 2 are downstairs. Currently in this room, I've got 2 foster puppies, which I can't show you, unfortunately. I've got one of my 3. Kittens here, and then I've got one of my regular dogs here. So. Quite a busy room in here right now. I'm going to be here for about another 20 minutes if anybody has any questions about pornography, about betrayal trauma. That is what happens when the partner of a pornography addict learns that their partner has been using and lying about it. And it can be a man, it can be a woman. Just like addiction. Addiction can be a man, addiction can be a woman. I help plenty of ladies with their pornography addiction. Yeah, you get no nanny. I don't know what that means, Fuyu. I don't know what it means that I get no nanny. Does that mean my grandmother's dead? I'm 17. I quit at 16. Best decision ever. Absolutely, Zaddy. Glad you're here. Clearly, you didn't put your age into TikTok since I have everybody under 18 banned, but I'll let you hang out since you are an example of someone who can quit, and quit young, and you'll never have to worry about the stuff that a lot of the people in here talk about. I had some wet dreams a couple days ago. It happens, smoothie buns. Your body is reconfiguring. Your body is learning to live without the porn. Your body is learning to live without that, biohack of causing those chemicals to go to your head when you watch and when you touch. Wet dreams will happen. Nobody should feel like a wet dream, technically known as a nocturnal emission. Nobody should feel like a wet dream is a failure. It's your body doing what your body says it needs to do in that moment. Any advice quitting? Yes. Figure out why you use. Figure out why you are using. Keep track of your use. Whenever you get an urge, whenever you get a trigger, whether you use or not, write it down. Write down the time, write down where you are, write down what has happened in the last 10, 15 minutes. Do this for a week. By the end of the week, you should have probably 50 to 100 instances of urges. If you go through them, you will see some times are similar. You will see some places are similar. You will see some situational notes that are similar that you may not see at this point. What you have to do at first is understand your addiction. Do you understand why this happens? So what you need to do is you need to learn about yourself. Learn to spot those triggers. Learn to spot those patterns. Do you have any advice on how to quit as a cam model? Asked Sage. Well, Sage, I guess it's why you're being a cam model. You know, that's the one thing I'd say is, why are you a cam model? Are you, and I'm not saying you are, but why are you being a cam model? Is it for the money? Is it for the sexual thrill? Is it because, you just want people to look at you? Why are you a cam model? Because that ultimately will help to figure out how you stop being one. If it's that you are making $40 an hour as a cam model and you can't find a job doing something else for $40 an hour, well, then you need to do a deep job search. If you're doing this because it gives you the kind of attention that you've never had from people before, maybe that's an issue. Maybe you need to talk to a therapist about that kind of stuff, or talk to a coach about that kind of stuff. If you're doing it because you're a nympho, or you're doing it because you're a voyeur, those are also sexual disorders that need to be addressed. It's not just intercourse addiction. It's not just porn addiction that are sexual disorders. There is, exhibitionism, showing people yourself. Voyeurism, sneaking up and seeing other people, sometimes when they don't know. Hurting other people during sex. BDSM is considered a disorder. There's a bunch of them. Thank you, Coach. You're welcome, Smoothie Buns. Your body is indeed changing. Had a rough day last night, decided to just go to sleep instead of using, and you are awake today, not dealing with any of the bullshit that comes with the shame, Tyreek. How is the next day? How is the next day not having used? I'm sorry you had a rough day, but how does it feel today? Hey, John, I've noticed for me, my triggers are stress and depression. Those are regular for just about everybody. And for people who have depression, legitimate depression, they go hand in hand. About half of people who are addicts have some kind of mental health issue, like depression or ADHD or bipolar or these types. About half of people do, who are addicts. So, it makes sense. Explore Enthusiast 269, thank you for following me. How days does it take to get your energy back when watching porn? How many days? It depends how long you've been watching. It depends how bad your problem is. It depends if you have withdrawals. It depends on a lot of things. I can't tell you how many days. I don't know enough about your situation. And even if I did, all I could do was guess and give a range. I feel like, hey, Jet Life baby, I feel way better waking up today and knowing I didn't use. I actually want to try going on antidepressants to see how those work soon. Hey, you know what? If you can make your life better through chemistry, do it. One of the reasons why I went off the rails my last year of being an addict, both alcohol and porn, is that I stopped taking my pills. One of the reasons I stopped taking my antidepressants, and this is, people with bipolar disorder don't like to take their pills and will tell themselves to not take their pills because, it's been a while, I'm fine, I'm like the rest of them, when you're not. And sometimes you have to find out the hard way. I've been on antidepressants, I think, 25 years. All right, John, study. Yes, study. Go to the gym. Good to see you. I'm glad you're checking in. I'm glad you're doing the healthy stuff. Don't let the stress get to you. A year from now, you probably won't even remember it. So, yeah, please don't be a stranger. But I have been on antidepressants for about 25 years. A couple times I've taken myself off of them because I think I'm okay. I'm not okay. I get sick still. And I get manic or I get depressed. So it might help you. There's about a 50-50 chance it helps you, so why not try it? And if it doesn't help, and I've been on pills that don't help, you have to try something else, that's all. But I think that's a very open-minded way of looking at it, Tyreek. Prime, hi. Why is the pee industry owned by the same people, all the same people? They've figured out how to make money on it, and they figured out how to keep the others out of it. It's what almost any industrial tycoon does. I mean, look at Trump's inauguration. I don't care what you think of Trump, but look at his inauguration. You had, arguably, except for Bill Gates, the 5 or 6 top tech guys in the world there. High tech, especially social media, especially when it comes to system software, it's only owned by a few people. You have a Windows operating system and you have an Apple operating system, and then you've got the other 2% of people who are the real computer geeks on the crazy stuff. Every industry designs itself to have the least amount of competitors, and that allows them to have higher prices. Hey, Coach, still going strong. Hey, Almighty Gizmo, how are you? You got a new icon there, I see. Glad you stopped by. Glad to hear you're doing well. Congratulations. Quitting corn gives you power back over your life. It certainly gives you a lot of it. And self-control. It builds your self-control. It builds your confidence. You know, there are certain things you're never going to have power over. The health of others. You know, the things going on in this world that you can't control. But you do have the power over your life when you are not an addict. Absolutely. Dawson Miller, thank you for following me. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for your help, Josh. We'll be booking a session soon. Great, Nolan. Thanks for being here. Andy just says, I want to say thank you. I often lurk here, and it's really helping. Well, I appreciate that, Andy. I appreciate that very much. I always find it interesting when I'm done one of these and I go look at the statistics, how many people will be here for 45 minutes or an hour and not say a word. Is your service expensive? I am sick of this cycle and may need help. No, Jeremiah, a 30-second session only costs 25 cents. A 55-minute session costs $45. That's your first one. And you will find that is usually about 1/3 to 1/4 of what a therapist charges. And you can be seeing me as soon as tomorrow, where a therapist may make you wait weeks. So it is not expensive. You can sit down with me one time for $45, and with prices the way they are these days, that's like going to McDonald's. How does corn affect brain in personal life, such as bad performance and so on? Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, it affects everything. It's a brain disease. It affects everything. It affects your thinking. It affects your emotions. It affects your spirituality. Most people walk around with a giant shame pattern built into their brain. It shrinks your brain. It causes pits and fissures. Go look at this on Google when I'm done. You'll see, multiple examples of this. And a lot of people stop being able to perform in bed as well, if they can still continue at all. It's not a good way. It's not a good road to go down. How long does it take to break the addiction? Ultimately, it depends on you. It ultimately depends on you. Sage, thank you for following me. I appreciate that. Going to be here about 3 more minutes, and then I have to get going and get ready for more of my day. There's always a chance I do this later. A lot of it's going to have to do with the dogs resting and my wife being willing to watch animals. So, yeah, all good. Almighty Gizmo asks, one thing I've been wondering about, what could I do about sexual frustration? Going to the gym? Yeah. Or how about dating? I don't remember your personal situation, almighty, with a wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband. But sexual frustration is not the same as addicted porn use. There will still be times you get horny because you're supposed to, because that's how the human animal works. You're supposed to get horny. And then you control your urges because you're a human and not a dog. Just want to pass by, say thank you. I still struggle with women. Hopefully I will not be one day. Hey, S, I'm glad to see you. It takes time. It takes time, and if you need help, get help. There's a lot of help out there. There's a lot of resources out there. I hope you will go and you will look and you will find them. Why are you ignoring me? Daniel, you probably said something that got banned. Unfortunately, Daniel, a lot of words from TikTok get banned. And while you can hit the send, it never shows up in the comments. So I would guess, Daniel, you put a word in there that TikTok doesn't like, and ultimately that is what's caused your comment to not come through. All right. So try again, Daniel, and then I'm going to get out of here. Daniel, you will get the last word today. Congratulations. What's wrong with corn? I've answered that many, many times. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to ask, couldn't you get prostate cancer by going too long without doing it? No. The prostate cancer thing is an urban legend that allows guys who are young to act like they're doing something good for your health. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Daniel, but do you worry about skin cancer? Do you worry about gum cancer? Do you worry about anal cancer? Do you worry that you're going to get, leukemia? How many of these different activities do you change, or different, types of diseases, do you change your life to avoid? I bet it's the only one. That you're taking positive action to not deal with. Because, I can masturbate and look at porn and it makes me not have cancer? There is no certifiable scientific link. It's still unknown. There are some in the medical community that says, well, there arguably could be some benefit from masturbation. And what they're saying is there's benefit from ejaculation. Having semen go through those tubes and come out of you. There could be some advantage to that. But there are many urologists, many other doctors who say there is nothing to that. So it is not final. It is not decided by the sexual community, by the medical community, that this is true. So I would not worry about this specific type of cancer, Daniel, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen with you if you don't masturbate enough, especially if you're in your late teens, early 20s. What's up, Coach? Every day I'm getting better off of no corn. Great, Ramiro. I'm glad to hear that. Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it? Yeah, you sound like Steve Carell in 40-Year-Old Virgin. No, you don't. I remember telling some friends about getting off corn. They told me I'll get prostate cancer. Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, they're at the beach not wearing any lotion. Meanwhile, they're smoking cigarettes or smoking weed and putting smoke into their lungs. They want to have an excuse for using. And they have heard this one along the way and believe it's true. They don't even need to check if it's true. They've heard it. That's good enough. How many times a day should I be doing it? I've been maxing 5 times a day. Well, Ian, it's 0. The number you should be shooting for is 0. They said you have to release. Yeah, you can tell Dr. Dipshit and Nurse No Idea that if they want to provide you with the, scientific details, you can always provide the other side of it. They're full of crap. So nothing bad happens to your body if you go too long without doing it? No. There are plenty of people who never do it in life. How do you spot them? You can't, because nothing bad happens. Plenty of us never kick a soccer ball in our life, or football for my friends in the UK. Plenty of us never go on an airplane in our life. Plenty of us never try a whole lot of different foods. We're all fine. A lot of us will never do yoga. We're fine. So no, Daniel. You're going to do far more damage to your body eating greasy food. Is corn approved by the USDA? Oh, you're being funny. Hold on a sec. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. Now back to this. You have wet dreams. That's the natural way of releasing. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. Astro Loco, how do I stop watching porn when I'm bored? You're not bored. There's no reason to be bored. You're using it as an excuse. You're using it as an excuse. Paint your house. Go for a walk. Watch a movie. Go volunteer at an animal shelter. Learn to fold origami. Call your grandma. There's 1,000 things, 10,000 things, 100,000 things to do in this world. When you tell yourself you're bored, what you're telling yourself is, I want to use pornography, but I don't want to admit to myself I want to use pornography. I want to tell myself I'm bored. Then I'll be able to use with less shame, with less guilt. Because if I could find something else to do, I would, but I'm bored. There's nothing to do, so I have to use porn. That's just the way it is. And that's a bunch of crap, and you and I both know that. Hey, period, thank you for following me. If I have an urge, how do I kill it as soon as possible? Well, the best thing you can do is go be around people. If you're around people, you're not going to look. You're not going to touch. If you're 99.99% like the rest of us, you'll even forget about it soon enough. So the best thing you can do as soon as possible is to be around somebody. Hans, you're really, really right on the line of getting banned. I feel better not releasing. My body feels stronger. Good. I'm sure it helps you mentally quite a bit. What about corn games? My little brother don't watch, but play corn games. I don't know what corn games are, and unfortunately, I don't have the time, or fortunately, I don't have the time to stay and figure it out. I have to move on. I have a podcast interview I have to give. Then I have a session I have to do. I want to remind you all, if you would like some one-on-one time with me, if you would like some information, suggestions, advice, ideas on how to begin to tackle this or why this happened in the first place, I'd be happy to meet with you. Absolutely. All you have to do is visit the front page of my profile. Up top, you'll see a link that says Linktree, I believe, and click on that. And then all my socials are there, where to buy my books are there, how to get to my website is there, and perhaps most importantly, how to schedule a session is there. So, all right. Thank you very much, folks. I will see you perhaps tonight, perhaps not. I'll be back tomorrow either way. Everybody say good night to the kitty or good afternoon to the kitty, and we will talk to y'all later. Have a great day.